Hey guys, it's Hazzy. I hope you're doing well. The weekend's over. It's time for a new week. And I figured I would talk about something and drop a new video. Um, I was thinking about this earlier today, just thinking back to my childhood, my relationship with my parents, and even my brother. I have a younger brother who's 3 years younger than me, and um, I realized that I definitely have wounding from my childhood. I think a lot of people have childhood wounding, whether it be a mother wound or a father wound, and there's a lot of people that are walking around still very unhealed and still kind of, how do I put this, acting a certain way because they've internalized the pain, you know. Excuse me. My throat's been acting up today. Um, I'm just trying to think of how I want to put this. Okay, let's use my mother as an example. My mother is unfortunately a very critical person. She always has been. Her and my brother are closer than her and I have ever been. I'm considered the scapegoat of the family, the black sheep, if you will. I grew up that way. Both of my parents treated me that way for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm different, maybe because I'm an empath. I don't know. I feel like a lot of it was, it came from their own pain, their own issues growing up that they never dealt with. Um, my mother, unfortunately, is one of those people that I like to say is never, she's not happy unless she's unhappy. And by that I mean, she complains a lot. You know, she's older, she's in her 70s, but for the most part, her health's pretty good. You know, she's in a pretty good situation, home wise, finance wise, and everything. But it's hard to be around her, to spend much time with her, because she's always complaining about stuff, like always bitching and complaining. And me as an empath, I find that very hard to deal with. You know, it stresses me out. It really does. One of the reasons why I have this necklace now, this Oregon necklace, to try to, keep those negative energies away. But yeah, I was really thinking about this, and I feel like a lot of people go through their lives kind of in autopilot. You know, um, we've dealt with stuff as kids, we've probably dealt with stuff as young adults, and maybe even actual adults, bad relationships, things like that. And I realized unless we actually go into these dark places, these difficult things within us, that cause us to react to the world a certain way, in an unhealed way, unless we actually sit with them and work through them and heal them, we're not going to change. We're going to react a certain way. And I feel like that's really sad. I see a lot of people going through life like that. I see a lot of people that have been damaged, from one way or another, and they continue to push people away, they continue to hurt people, they continue to be negative and unhappy. And I feel like that's such a sad way to live, like I don't understand it. I see it in my ex, I see it in my mom. um, to a lesser extent, I see it in my brother. I don't really have the best relationship with him. Him and my mom are pretty similar, in some ways. They're close, like I said, but it just got me thinking, I have been on my own healing journey for over a year now, I would say at this point. Um, and I've still got a ways to go. I've still got a lot to learn. I am far from perfect. I will be the first person to tell you that. I always try to do the right thing. I try to be a good person. But sometimes I fall short. I've hurt people in the past that I didn't mean to hurt. I can be a very blunt person, a very straightforward person, and that's too much for some people. They don't really do well with that. And I feel like learning how to heal the wounds of my past, from my childhood, from my mother wounding and my father wounding is so important. Um, just to kind of tell you a little bit about what I dealt with. My father was more, they both have been mentally and emotionally abusive over the years. My father was physically abusive towards me, never my brother, only towards me. Um, and so this is a really sad story, but it kind of it explains the type of person that he is. So I forget how old I was, but I was a kid, Um, Again, I don't remember. I'm not really good with with numbers and ages and things like that. I think I blocked out a lot of my childhood. But we were getting ready to go on a vacation somewhere as a family, and we had a little Maltese poodle named Cheeky, a boy, and I think he was about like 7 years old or something like that. Sweetest dog. My brother, who like I said is 3 years younger than me, he would mess around with him. He would play around with him and be a little rough, and he never tried to bite us. He never, nothing like that. He was just a very, very sweet, like wonderful family pet. So we were I don't know if we were getting ready to leave that day, or if we were just getting ready for school or whatever, but we were getting ready to go somewhere. And we had this in the kitchen, we had this table with like bench chairs that you had to pull out, and that's how we could sit, in the kitchen and stuff. And my dog Cheeky was scared of my father. My father is well, at the time, I don't really know what he looks like now. I haven't been in touch with him for over 20 years at this point. But he was, 6'4", a big man, probably 250 pounds at least. And he was yelling. He was yelling at us. He was yelling at the dog. I think he was trying to get him to take him. I guess if we were leaving for a vacation, I just don't remember specifically, but he was trying to, get him out from under the table, and the dog was terrified because he was just yelling and going crazy. And anyway, so he ended up kicking him while he was under the table. And I think we went away for about a week. And we found out while we were away on vacation, because my parents boarded him at a vet's office. So we found out while we were on vacation that he died. A family dog died. And they discovered that he had died of kidney failure. Now, this was a dog that had always been healthy. He'd never had any issues, nothing like that. And we figured out, between my mom and I guess, my father would never admit to anything. But we realized that because of the way that he had kicked him when he was under the table like that, we realized that he basically killed our dog. Pretty much. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And that's really not something that anyone should have to go through as a child. To realize that your father has that kind of temper, that he killed your dog because he decided to kick him under the table rather than trying to be patient, rather than trying to coax him out or whatever. He just decided to unleash his anger on this defenseless animal, and it was really heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, and it's still to this day. I mean, he didn't deserve that. He really didn't deserve that, and he would have lived a long life. We adopted another dog after that. Several months after, I think the vet let us know there was this another Maltese, but she actually had beige ears. She was a puppy, and we named her Susie, and we adopted her. And then later on, we adopted another dog who was a mutt, a little black and white mutt from the SPCA, and we named her Cindy. And she was more my dog. Susie was more my brother's dog. And in 1995, my parents ended up divorcing. My father was always very physically abusive towards me. He would hit me, he would punch me. To this day, my mom still likes to minimize it and say, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. He didn't even leave bruises. No, 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 no. And I'm like, it's pretty disgusting to hear your mom say that, and minimize the abuse that you went through. But my point is, telling you about the two dogs, the other dogs that we got. We got them both as puppies, and they both lived well into their teens. I think they were both 15 when they died. Susie, they were either 14 or 15. Susie ended up having an enlarged heart, so she had heart failure, so she passed away from that. She passed away on her own pretty quickly. And then Cindy, bless her, she loved us so much. She was just hanging on for dear life. They say that, when animals, they don't want to leave you, and they're so faithful and they're so loyal and they love you so much, they will hang on, as long as they can to stay with you. Excuse me. And she did. She ended up going deaf. She ended up going blind. Towards the end there, she was just flopping around like a fish. Like she was losing her balance. She was bumping into things. It was bad. It was rough. It got pretty bad. And my mom was kind of, holding on to her, and she realized that we realized that she needed to go. We could tell by looking in her eyes, she was just done. She wasn't really enjoying life anymore, but she loved us so much. She was hanging on. So my mom and I both took her to the local vet, and we ended up having her put to sleep. And it was really hard. This was years ago now, but I'm glad that we were able to do that for her. We were both there with her the whole time. It was really hard, and I still miss her, and I'll always miss her, because she was a really good dog too. She was just always just so loving and sweet, and she wanted to make friends with everybody, and everybody loved her, but she was suffering, and we couldn't do that anymore. We couldn't let her go through that anymore. So yeah, she'll always be there with me. They all will, in my heart. The people and the places and the animals we love, we always carry that with us. So yeah, I don't want to make these videos too long, because I feel like I kind of lose people, but I just wanted to talk about that, to talk about childhood wounding, and it's still a journey that I'm on. Like, I still have a lot to work through, to go through, and to heal from, and I think a lot of people do. And I think it's definitely, even though it's difficult, it's definitely a worthwhile journey to go on. I think it's important, because if we don't heal from the things that we carry around with us, the pain, the trauma that we carry around with us, whether it be from childhood or, later on in life, it's going to affect other relationships, friendships. It's going to affect the way we see the world. It's going to affect everything. And yes, when you open up, when you care about somebody, when you love somebody, you are vulnerable. You do open yourself up to be hurt, and it happens. Unfortunately, it happens a lot, especially when you deal with somebody else that also, has their own issues and their own trauma and their own pain that they need to deal with. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's so worthwhile. If you can heal your own heart and become the best person that you're able to become despite the difficulties you've had, if you can learn from them, if you can grow from them, and then if you can help others to do the same, because that's what I feel like life is about: making connections. I feel like life is about being there for people, helping people, uplifting people. And that's what I always try to do. And that's what part of this journey is about for me. And that's why I'm talking about this, because I feel like I need to tell my story, and maybe other people can relate, and maybe other people can get something from it. Maybe I can help somebody. Maybe someone else has a similar story, and they're looking to help themselves, to heal. I do go to therapy. That has been helpful. I'm still on the lookout, and actually I do have some really good books that I need to go through. I'm guilty of procrastinating, though. I'm guilty of starting to read something and to go through something, because there's a lot of good books out there that will help you heal, but they're not the kind of books that you just read. They're the kind of books that you actually have to, go through. Like, there's affirmations, there's exercises, things like that you have to go through. And I definitely have discovered that I need to focus more on myself, my healing. I want to be able to help others on their journey. So if I find some books that I recommend, I will definitely let you guys know. I do have some in mind, but I think I'm going to make that another video, because I don't want this to be too long again. But yeah. I just wanted to tell anyone that is struggling, there are some people that have been through some crazy experiences, some horrible things, some really terrible abuse. When I think of some of the girls, I don't remember any of their names offhand. I'm not good with names, but girls in this country, in the USA, that were, kidnapped as a child and just gone through so much abuse and trauma from their kidnappers, and have been able to, once they got away, to rise above that, to heal as an adult, and forgive these people. And when I think about people like that, I mean, they're so strong. They're so strong, and we all have the ability to rise above. We all have the ability to work on ourselves, no matter what. I feel like if you know the difference between right and wrong, if you're doing the right thing, if you're being a good human or not. I believe that people know, whether they be a narcissist or dealing with any other personality disorders, stuff like that. So I just want to encourage anyone that is struggling right now. You can always message me if you need to, if you need someone to talk to, if you need support. There is hope. This has been a long time coming for me. I've tried different things over the years, and nothing has really worked. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm finding some answers. I'm gaining some real insight and some real healing, and it's so important, and it really, it makes you feel so grateful and so blessed. And you know, I'm becoming a better person. I'm becoming a better version of me, and I'm committed to continue to work on that. So hopefully you guys got something out of this message. If you do, please hit that like button. It really helps a lot. Also, if you want to see more of me talking about this kind of stuff, please go ahead and subscribe. Again, we are a very new channel, and I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff some more and sharing with you guys. And then I'm also going to be making some more Bun Bun videos. I just need to get more organized and figure out, you know, what exactly I'm going to do. I need to take, you know, sit down and take some notes and, you know, jot down some ideas and stuff. But I hope that you guys are getting something out of these videos, because as an empath, as a light worker, I want to be able to help people. And I feel like in sharing my story, hopefully I can give others some insight as well. So that's it for now, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.